we're going to be taking a look at a base way of defending 3-by-1 formations out of your 4-2-5 or 4-4 defense. Now, it doesn't really matter what your base coverage is. We've done this when our base coverage is cover 3, cover 1, or quarters. This is just a great way to play 3-by-1 formations, and it's kind of our base go-to way. I always recommend having 3 different ways to defend trips formations in the game plan. So we're going to have this base way, which is just going to be pretty much a quarter, half coverage. We're also going to have a man coverage blitz. We'll have something special for whatever it is that they do best out of their 3-by-1. So are they going to do a lot of throwing to the single receiver trying to isolate us? We'll get a second guy over there. They have a better receiver over in the 3 receivers. Are they going to run and we want to pack the box? What is it that we need to do in order to stop what they do best? Let's look at our check roll, our base way of defending trips formations. So we've got a 3-by-1 formation here, and I'm just going to line up, first of all, our 4-2-5 with a G front. Doesn't matter if it's G or over. If you want to know more about our base 4-2-5 defense, there's a video series you can check out, and there's going to be a link in the description for you for the foundations of the 4-2-5 defense series. I like keeping this box consistent, keep the 6-man box consistent. Our corners are going to play 7-by-2, 7 yards off, 2 yards inside. Same for other corner. Their technique's going to change slightly, but really they're going to do the same thing they do in a regular spot drop cover 3, and in fact, just about everybody is. We're going to align our weak safety by his base rule, 5-by-5, off the end man of the line of scrimmage. He's the force player here, and he's there mainly to defend against things like speed option, or if they wanted to run a jet back to the other side. That's why I don't want to try to bring this weak safety over. The strong safety's base rule is 1 yard outside and 5 yards off of the number 2 receiver. He's there for run support, to be the force player in the run. We're going to start out with him there, but if you show me that you'll throw, whether on film or in a game, that you'll throw to that number 3 receiver and he's a threat, and you're not just lined up in this to run, we'll probably end up very quickly using that strong safety as an apex between number 2 and number 3 there. The free safety is the last guy that we have left. He just needs to be, he's more over. He's going to be playing a deep quarter, but he can't be in a place where he's going to allow that number 3 to just run to a wide open middle of the field. So if he were to play out here over top of 3, he'd be opening up the wide open middle of the field. So he's going to play inside of 3 in a position where he can defend against that. And he's going to be probably about 10 yards to 12 yards depth. Depending on what they do, he might need to be deeper, or he might be closer if they're just going to run the ball. But he's in a position where maybe over top of B gap or over top of the tackle where that number 3 doesn't have just a clean release to the middle of the field. So we are in a quarter, half. Technically, our corner is deep half on the single receiver corner. But he's really just over top of that area. I'm not going to expect him to handle the vertical from the other side getting there. He's going to handle the post route by the number 1 receiver. If the number 1 were to run a post route, that's kind of where the deep half comes in for him. But this route that comes all the way across, we're going to talk about in a minute, that's not really going to be him. The free safety is deep quarter. So we've got quarter, and half. Now, our underneath defenders, our strong safety is going to be our flat defender. He is our run force player, so none of these guys are just dropping. Our deep players are, but we are checking run first, playing run first with our underneath guys, including our safeties. Linebackers obviously checking run, and then they will be hooked to curl. The will is hooked to curl. He doesn't ever really play the curl. He's more looking for crossers in this situation. If he needed to carry a crosser out to the curl, then he would. He's not, running out to the curl area. And then the weak safety, this is where we change things. So there was one specific route giving us problems in practice. We were having problems with 4 verts. Out of 3-by-1, you get the goes on the outside, you get a seam by number 2, and number 3 is going to be looking to run that backside hash, the backside seam. And so what was happening was not the deep, because the free safety will be over top of that and have time to break on it. But it was this low hole area that the ball is getting hit at. In that 12 to 17 yard intermediate area, the ball is being thrown underneath the free safety, who is kind of trying to split the Y, the number 2, running that vertical where he can break on it. And this guy was getting underneath him. So what we did was we incorporated something we called a hang technique. What we had this weak safety do is just hang out, see what's happening, and if nothing's happening to your side, start to sink, start to get depth, and he would end up being able to help on that route underneath. And so what he does is he checks, is the R releasing? If the R is releasing on a flare, or obviously a run, a speed option, he's coming up on a flare, he's getting width. But if the R isn't running a route out there, and on this route concept, especially because we're going to blitz a fair amount against your 3-by-1, he's doing a lot of protecting. He's going to check now if the R stays into pass protect. He's going to check for quick slant by number 1, and then he's just going to sink. he's just going to start to sink for depth. We don't give him a number. We just tell him nothing's threatening, nothing's happening in front of you. Get depth, get depth, get depth. And what that does is it gets him in a position where as he's sinking, he's watching the quarterback and he's checking for crossers. And he sees that crosser coming across now. He can help to get in that low hole area. We felt like this worked really well in closing off one of the biggest weaknesses to me of this quarter half coverage. So that really helped us a lot, was adding in that little hang technique against the trips formations. This is just one of the ways. This is the base way. It's really good at their motioning from 2x2 to trips. It's an easy thing to check to, but it's just one of the ways that we'll be defending trips so that we can handle any weaknesses in this coverage by having some other options as well. So what I want to know from you is, down in the comments, tell me how you've defended trips that's been really successful for your football team. What are some of the things that you've done to take away some of the dangers of trips formations with your defense that have worked really well? Post it down in the comments. I'm always looking for new ways. Like I said, we always want to have 3 ways in the game plan, so there's some creativity in that. So I'm always looking for new ways, and I'm sure other coaches are as well. Just post in the comments how you've defended trips in the past. As I mentioned, if you want to go deeper in our 4-2-5 defense system, you can get that video series that I put together at no charge. Just check down in the description for the link. It's going to be 425defense.com/YouTube to get access to those videos, and the link is down in the description. If this is your first time visiting my channel, then click on the button to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos. And also, you're going to see a couple of other 4-2-5 defense videos that I've done in the past that you can check out here for even more 4-2-5 defense ideas.